There's a road runs through this town, tells a story. It's got me exactly where I'm supposed to be. And if you're thinking of me, well, don't be worried, 'cause I'm as happy as you are, surely soon to see. And I say, come over, come over, come on over, you'll say. Yeah, I say, come over, come on over, you'll say. Yeah, I say, come over, just come on over, you'll see what we have here. Soon as you get moving, yeah, the sooner I can prove it, yeah. We got fields growing wild along the river. There's lots of critters, they blaze a trail through my backyard. And there's trees growing tall which surround me. All this wildlife waiting for you and I to come on board. And I say, come over, just come on over, you'll say.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Portland on the Move show. The Portland on the Move is a collaboration between Portland High School and the Portland Town Hall and the Town Tech Educational Partnership. And we're live here at the Comcast studio in Cromwell at 199 Shunpike. And we have a very diverse show this evening, okay? We have one of our longtime residents of Portland, Miss Nancy Livensparger, okay, who is actually the owner of Fire Ring Farm in Portland. And Portland is a very diverse community. We have many farms in town. We're working on developing more of an awareness of the farming community, and we invited Nancy to come on the show. So Nancy, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome. Okay. Nancy, as I said, is a farmer. She's also a herbalist and an aromatherapist, and she runs the Fire Ring Farm in Portland, which is basically a 25-member organic CSA with her family. And the Fire Ring Farm strives to be a socially just farm, and they also lead herbal workshops for the community. So how did you get into that?
Well, a long time ago, I'm a transplant from Ohio.
Okay.
Okay.
It's round on the ends and high in the middle, right?
That's right, yes. And I had my own garden maintenance business for 13 years there. Mm-hmm. And it was really hard because I tried to do everything organic, but when you're with Ohio State and Scott's and all the big ag, they want to promote
fertilizers
and pesticides.
Yes.
So, but we moved to Connecticut so that we could be with our daughter, my husband and I moved. And we have grandchildren, and I told Bruce, when we have grandchildren, I'm out of here. And they were in Connecticut, so we moved to Connecticut.
Okay.
And we found this wonderful property, which is part of the Taylor estate.
Yep.
Yeah. And we ended up living there, and I got a job working as a garden maintenance for a company. And I got really tired of pruning invasive plants. Being organic and part of the land, and just, and then the company didn't follow organic practices. And it so happened that I learned about Connecticut NOFA.
Okay.
And NOFA stands for the Northeast Organic Farmers Association. And I was in heaven. I ended up taking all their classes, and I learned about CSAs, and I learned just everything.
Okay.
And so with that, I said, I'm quitting this job. We're going to run a CSA and grow food for my family and the community.
So when you say, explain what the nomenclature for CSA is now.
Oh yeah. A CSA is Community Supported Agriculture.
Oh, okay. And
there are lots of different kinds. We run a summer CSA, which is from June, the middle of June to the middle of October. We do an organic CSA of vegetables and some fruit. Mm-hmm. But you can get flower CSAs, get herb CSAs. There's all different kinds. There's also winter CSAs and spring CSAs. But what happens is, with ours, is in January and February right now, people contact us, and I do have some openings.
Okay.
And they join the CSA. And then in June, they come for 18 weeks and pick up what we've harvested.
Okay.
So they are buying into the farm and buying into our capabilities to grow good food. Mm-hmm. So there's positives, like last year we had gobs of tomatoes.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Abundance.
Abundance. And so that was kind of fun because people would come, oh, what am I going to do with tomatoes this year? And so I taught canning classes, and we talked about how you could freeze tomatoes and what you could do with the tomatoes. So we're also about teaching people what to do with the produce. But then there's also a downside in that one year, a groundhog climbed over the fence and ate all the broccoli.
Oh my God.
And so we had no broccoli. And of course, my grandson loves broccoli, so he was not a happy camper.
No, I would imagine not.
But so that's where it comes into, people will say, well, what are you growing? And this is what we try to grow, and we don't do. I've signed the NOFA Organic Farmers Pledge.
Okay.
So I'm not certified because that's a lot of work and money.
Okay.
But everything is no pesticides. I do my soils with mineral development, sustainability.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you're buying into that. And
Correct.
it's fun because people come and.
Now, I notice you also are an herbalist.
Yes.
Okay, so is herb different from produce as far as that goes?
No, there's herbs included. There's always herbs in the in the pickup.
Okay.
But I also teach a kids herb class and an adult herb class for people that are interested in coming and learning about. We choose a subject like, say, rosemary.
Okay.
And we do an activity, and we sing songs, and then they go out and try and find the rosemary or whatever the herb is, and we make some kind of something like a salve or something to eat that they can take home.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how many different types of herbs are there? I mean, typically, are they? When you say rosemary, I mean they're used in cooking, obviously.
You have cooking herbs, you have medicinal herbs.
Okay.
You have an aromatherapist uses herbs and they extract the oils.
Okay.
So that you have essential oils.
Okay.
That are all part of herbs. There's also herbs that are used, extracted. They're called flower essence. And so you can take flowers and the herb flowers and put them in water. And it's really cool if you do it in the sun or when there's full moon. And it extracts the energies out of the herbs.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Wow, just by the magnetism of the moon and the earth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So there's lots of different kinds of herbs, and they're used in lots of different ways. You know, so I could do it in cooking, in teas,
okay,
in salves, that type of thing.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's whole
Right.
various varieties.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. That's amazing. You know, when you talk about you know, people do people typically aware of or do they use a lot of herbs in their cooking?
I think so. But the one thing that we strive to do is with the CSA, we'll have an herb,
Yeah.
and they may say, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And so we're always there, and we can say, well, you know, do you not like it or what? And they'll say, well, I don't know what to do with cilantro.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, have you ever made pesto, or have you ever made, you know, this? Or you can freeze it, or you can, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so we're always trying to educate on how to use the produce and the food that we have.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
So so if people want to, you know, contact you to get to be a part of your CSA now, I mean, is there? I know you said you have openings now.
Right.
It starts
Now.
It starts now. Okay, and it goes through October. You said.
Well, the openings start now, and then
Oh.
at some point, hopefully, I'll be full.
Okay.
And then, but the actual pickup of the food
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
vegetables is the middle of June.
Mm-hmm.
And so from the middle of June, it's for 18 weeks.
Okay.
Till the middle of October.
So
pickup.
when do you start planting?
Well, the end of this month, I will start seeding
Okay.
in the greenhouse.
Okay.
I start seeding onions.
Okay.
And I also have 2 high tunnels, which are like greenhouses, but they're not heated.
Okay.
And they're plastic. A lot of farms, if you go to the farms and learn your farmer, you'll know what a high tunnel is.
It's like a hoop house?
It's like a hoop house.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So tell me, how many different varieties of onions are there?
Well, there's.
I mean, you got the sweet onions, you have the red onions.
Right. But you also have what you call early onions, long-term onions, and short-term onions, and that depends on the daylight.
Okay.
So if you're looking in a catalog and you are trying to pick out onions, you have to know where you live.
Okay.
To know whether you're going to buy a long-term onion or a short-term onion seed or set
Okay.
to plant.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of onions, but you have shallots, which are a form of onion.
Okay.
You have slicing onions.
Okay.
And you have bunching onions, which are scallions.
Okay.
Like your green onions.
Okay.
And
now when you go to a fair or restaurant and they're selling an onion bloom, what type of onion is that?
Oh,
Yes.
That would probably be your Alicia white sweet onion.
Oh, okay.
And they're really big.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, so you have big onions. Then you have your yellow onions.
Okay.
You know, so you have white onions, which are really sweet. I'm trying to think of the name of the onion. Well, it's in my file, but I can't
it's in your
tell you.
file.
Yeah, up there, in my file.
Now, and typically, how many different species of tomatoes, typically do you grow? My father used to grow tomatoes, and he said, "Oh, I got the big boys, and I got whatever," and so.
Well, I grow. I have 7 rows. My rows are 50 feet long, 4 feet wide,
Okay.
and I have some heirlooms. Brandywine is the best tomato in the world.
Okay.
So if you ever go any place and they have Brandywines, you want a Brandywine.
Okay.
However, it's an heirloom and it has a soft skin.
Okay.
So you have to really pamper them so that they come out good.
Okay.
So I grow Brandywine, but then I also grow Big Beef, which is a hybrid.
Okay.
Okay. Non-GMO. It's just been
When you
bred
say
for-
non-GMO, what's that?
Oh, well, there's all these terms like GMO, and is it fake, and is it been added to and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And really, what it all boils down to is this tomato was grown, and it was a cross.
Okay.
And so a hybrid cannot be true to seed.
Okay.
So if I have a hybrid tomato, I can't save the seed and grow it the next year. It won't come out the same.
Okay.
I have to buy seed each year, which the seed companies really like.
Okay.
An heirloom tomato
Yeah.
is true to seed each year.
Okay.
So if I do my brandy wines, I can save my brandy wine seed and grow it next year, and it'll come out as a brandy wine.
Now, can you graft tomato plants?
No.
No.
I'd love to learn how.
Oh, okay.
No.
I mean, it can be done?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Because I know
really,
they graft apple trees and all that kind of stuff. And
they take. Yes, it's really big. In fact, I just went to a conference with Yukon Extension.
Okay.
And the man growing that was speaking was rights for growing for market.
Uh-huh.
And he's really into grafting. And he says you got to take this strong rootstock, which is your heirlooms, and then you can graft onto them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Now, you say you have 50-foot rows. I mean, are they raised beds, or?
Well, yes, but they're raised.
You make Bruce build raised beds.
Yeah. Well, Bruce, no, they're raised beds, but they're not enclosed with wood around them.
Oh, okay.
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 And I have some wonderful volunteer people and workshare people that come and work on the farm and help raise beds, and that's to fertilize and to plant and to weed. That's how, if you want to get involved and you don't know anything, you can always come to the farm and learn. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you say fertilizer, what I assume you use
minerals.
Mineral. Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell our viewers what mineral
Well,
fertilizer
there's
is.
calcium.
Okay.
Well, you have the NPK, the nitrogen, the potassium, and the phosphorus.
Okay.
But you also need to have calcium and magnesium and sulfur.
Okay.
And this is all granular.
Okay.
And so you have to you take your soil, you take your gardens, and you need to get a soil test.
Okay. See what your acidity is. And
yes.
Yes. Okay.
And what your minerals are. Mm-hmm. And with that, they'll give you recommendations of what you should add. It's people say, oh, just grow some plants. Just grow some vegetables. It's really not that easy.
No, you have to have the right type of soil.
Yeah.
Now, typically, does the Extension Service do soil testing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, typically, what is if somebody wanted to have their soil tested? What would the cost be for?
Well, it depends on how many you do and where you take it. I mean, there's some that are free.
Okay.
And there's some that are there's two ways. I can't get into it exactly because there's two different ways to do your soil test.
Okay.
One is a acid extraction.
Okay.
And so people that are watching that know all this are going to go, "What's she talking about?" But if you get involved with NOFA and Yukon Extension, they have wonderful resources.
Okay. Yeah.
That'll help you with all of that.
Now, me being a water guy, okay, how do you irrigate your?
Well, we have a well.
Okay.
And that's where Bruce came in because he dug channels.
Okay.
And so I do drip irrigation. Underneath.
Okay. All right.
And that was one of the first things we set up once we got going.
Now, do you have moisture meters on your soil so you can tell your moisture content on your soil?
Well, just if I go out and use my moisture meter. I don't have anything exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you do have a moisture meter. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and a pH meter.
And a pH meter. Yeah.
There's also a bricks meter, and that tells you the amount of sugars in your plant.
Okay.
I don't know if you know, sometimes you go and buy an apple and you bite into it and you set it down because you're working, and 2 minutes later you look and it's brown.
Yep.
It has a low Brix.
Okay.
It's doesn't have enough sugar and minerals in it.
Okay.
And so it's important to be able to take your Brix and see where it is in the range.
Sure.
And they're working on having them hand ones that people can buy. So if you went to the farmer's market, you could text out this carrot versus this carrot.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to buy from him because.
Well, it's just like people going into the supermarket with the phone. I want to see what this price is. Oh no, ShopRite has it for this, and now I can have everything there.
Yes.
So typically, you know, when you're talking pH in a soil, is there an optimum pH range that are you more on the acid side or more on the base side?
Well, it's sort of in the middle.
Because I mean, 7 being neutral. Okay, so.
But you want it a little bit more 6.5 to 7.
So you're more on a little bit of
but it also depends on what you're growing.
Okay,
like
I see.
Potatoes like sulfur and they like it lower.
Okay, all right.
You know, so that's the other thing you got to learn about your plants.
Now, how many types of potatoes are you growing?
I grow red potatoes and Kennebec potatoes, which are the white potatoes.
The white potatoes. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I tried fingerlings, but the yield isn't. If I was doing just a home garden, they're really good.
Yeah.
But your yield isn't very much.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to not only grow for my family, but grow for the community. And so when I divided out, they didn't get very many potatoes.
Okay.
With the fingerlings, but they are good.
They're good.
Yeah.
Now, a russet potato, now, which are typically
that's
humongous.
your bakers.
The bakers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like russet potatoes because I can peel those a lot better than peeling my knuckles on a little.
But you know, when you peel the potato, you're peeling off a lot of the good stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I don't peel my potatoes.
You don't peel your potatoes? Okay.
No, we scrub them down. We don't peel them because your vitamins and stuff are.
So to make, you know, a scallop potato, okay, how would you prepare a scallop potato now?
I would scrub it down.
Yep.
And slice it.
Okay. With the skin on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And put it in a dish and put butter on it and cheese and milk.
Yeah.
And bacon.
Okay. Now, do you also do cheese?
We don't do cheese.
You don't do cheese, okay.
No.
Okay.
We'd love to have some goats, but we haven't got that far. That's down the
Bruce,
road.
that's next, okay.
Yeah, he knows that. We have chickens.
Chickens,
and we sell eggs.
Mm-hmm. And how many chickens do you have?
We have 25 chickens.
Okay. Now, what's the daily yield on 25 chickens?
Well, right now we're getting about a dozen eggs.
Okay, a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
They usually do every other day.
Uh-huh.
Lay every other day.
I see. So basically, when your CSA, when they come and pick, is it usually it's once a week that they come and pick up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So.
But eggs are what we call a value-added product.
Oh, okay.
So they have to pay
Batteries
for the
not
eggs.
included.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously those are all organic eggs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, what's the difference? My aunt used to raise chickens in Cromwell. She had 3 chicken coops. My God, and she had the companies used to send trailer truckloads, and she used to raise them and then put them back in a crate and then ship them back out. But I get that's a.
Yeah, she was working hard.
Oh my God! I mean, she had. I mean, two chicken coops. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've been out by Melvin Strickland's up on Stewart Hill. He has now most of his chicken coops are storage now. But but he had the double-decker chicken coops. But I mean, that's a business that is you have to. I mean, disease can wipe out a chicken's
Right.
like poof,
Right.
like bang. You
Yeah.
know, all of a sudden.
Well,
it's
we're into chickens, so we have eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and we also have the chicken coops that'll move around,
okay.
so we can move them around in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
So they're outside. They're not in. You know, every morning we let them out, no matter what the weather is. They're out,
Free range.
free range.
Free range.
Yeah, and really free range. A lot of
Okay.
times when you see that on a carton and it says free range,
Yeah.
they're all in these cages, and then
eggs.
it's a little door, and they have a choice to go out, but they don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so no, all our chickens go out.
Oh, they're out. Now, do you typically, you know, from going back to the fertilizers now, do you use any type of manure, you know, as far as
No, I use leaves.
leaves?
Yeah,
Okay.
we try to get people landscapers to bring us their leaves,
Oh, okay.
and we have people that do that. We also Portland has a really good transfer station.
Yes.
And so we have signed a waiver with the city of Portland,
Yeah.
the town of Portland,
Yeah.
so we can get their compost.
Okay.
And
I know they turn it over and you
Right,
know, Roger
right.
and Matt down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
so that's helpful. If we don't have enough,
You can
we
get
can get
supplemented.
compost. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
leaves. Now,
yeah.
now typically leaves are more on the acidic side, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but we also put all our grass clippings in with the compost.
Mm-hmm.
So we're constantly mixing it.
Now you don't want grass clippings that have been used with what is it, green lawn or?
Oh no,
fre-
no,
you
no,
know,
no, no, no,
no.
no. We don't have any. No. No, this is our
Your grass clipping, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because that's you know you have.
Well, see, we have bees too.
Oh,
And
really?
So,
Okay.
Yes, and so we don't want any of that chemical stuff around.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we come, we're going to take a brief break here. We're going to
Okay.
come. When we come back, we'll talk about bees and
Okay.
some of the other things. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Nancy Livensparger, who is the owner of Fire Ring Farm, which is out on Middle Haddam Road in Portland, and she grows all her own food, and which is great. So we're going to be right back here at Portland on the Move, and don't go away.
Portland has a unique location for industry. The Brownstone Industrial Park is situated along the Connecticut River with easy access to Route 66 and Route 9, and also has very simple connections to 91 and 95. A deep water channel in the Connecticut River offers access that a lot of communities don't have. In addition, the Brownstone Industrial Park, a 1970s redevelopment project, offers gas service as well as municipal water, sewer, and obviously electric, and then rail. We also have planned industrial sites that are around town that plan to expand our industry in the future. Our industrial businesses begin with things as simple as hazardous waste mitigation, and we work up to more high-tech type of industries that are all located within our Brownstone Industrial Park.
My name is Jason Jarvis, and I am one of the owners of Jarvis Airfoil. I am the fifth generation into a family manufacturing business. So my great-great-grandfather worked at the Brownstone quarries and bought a machining shop up in Hartford. At some point they floated all the equipment from this machine shop down to Middletown, where we were making rotary files and flexible shafts and different sorts of equipment. And from those beginnings came out a couple of different Jarvis companies. And since 1956 on this location we have been manufacturing airfoils, which are the little bent bits of metal that compress air in jet engines. And we've been making these parts for General Electric, Pratt & Whitney, and Rolls-Royce, and some of the other large engine manufacturers throughout the world. I think Portland's done a good job of supporting the businesses in the area. I mean, we are very interested in doing everything we can to support the community, hire people from Portland, support the various activities in the community to the best extent we can. We have about 92 employees now, and 50,000 square feet, 2+ shifts, so everybody here works about 10+ hours. And we're busy enough now that we're working on the weekends as well.
Precision Plastics started business in 1980. We do custom injection molding. We take raw plastic, which we get in pellet form. We melt it down and inject it into molds that we build here. We do business with a lot of different industrial companies. Mostly now we do medical and biotech. It's a family-owned business. We started with my mom and my dad. We've grown where my father is actually retired now. My two sons work here. In 1987, we moved here, reconstructed the building, added on. We installed a photovoltaic solar system. It's an 85 kW system. Now it's about 30% of our power. It's already paid for itself during those 4 years. We started business in Portland, and because we like the town. It's a small, very homey town. People are genuinely nice. It's a great place to work, to live. We all live here. We enjoy the town. When we first started business, a lot of companies were local companies. The first company we actually did business was with Standard Nap.
Precision Plastics is an injection molder, and they make all of our what we call grid fingers, which are actually the parts that kind of look like shoe horns that make the bottles fit into the partitioned cases. And you know, it's a very tricky part to mold, and they've been very successful at molding it for us. Standard Nap's been in Portland since 1940. We're manufacturing packaging machineries, what's called secondary packaging machinery for the food and beverage industry and chemical industry also. General Mills is one of our customers, Anheuser-Busch, Miller Coors, a lot of the distilleries, Jack Daniels and Jim Beam are customers of ours. The machine behind me is being shipped shortly to a distillery in Indiana, and it's one of our newest models. That's actually the first of a new series of products that we call soft placement case packers that we developed here in Portland, you know, engineered and manufactured it here. Traditionally, this type of secondary packaging machine actually drops product into the case, and this machine actually picks them up and gently places them into the case and does it at a fairly high speed, up to 30 cases a minute. We have about 54 employees here in the town of Portland. Portland's treated us very well. I mean, we've been here a very long time. We would have moved a long time ago if it wasn't for the good treatment we get from the town of Portland.
If you're looking to expand or relocate, consider what Portland has to offer.
Hey, we're live back here at Portland on the Move, and this is our February show and our Valentine's show. And with us was Miss Nancy Livensparger from the Fire Ring Farm. And again, Nancy, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
And so forth. We talking off camera here. You also said you have some beehives.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
So.
Bees are really important, especially honeybees. There's also native bees, but the honeybees are really important, and they help with all of our propagation and it's not pollination.
Pollination.
It's not,
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's not
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Got the right word. So I have 2 hives, and they're a lot of work. I have a person that does a work share, and it's interesting because I didn't realize how much work they were when I first got them. Mm-hmm. And he came to the farm, and he was harvesting chard, and that was down by the beehives, and he got all excited, and it took him forever. And it's like finally he came up with the chard, and he goes, wow, he says, those bees are really cool. And here he'd been watching the bees and how they were working the chard, because some of it had started to flower.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I told him about the Eastern Connecticut Beekeepers Association has classes. Uh-huh. And so he took the classes, and he asked if he could be in charge of my bees, and so he has for the last 4 or 5 years.
Really?
Maybe longer than that. And we've gotten honey, which is really wonderful, and we don't have to pasteurize it because it's raw and we know how to keep it. Okay. And when you don't pasteurize it, it has all the medicinal properties to it.
Oh, okay. So when you say you know how to keep it, what does that entail?
Well, you have to put it in sterile jars.
It's okay.
Yeah, and we keep it. We have a area that's like a root cellar.
Okay.
So we keep it cool.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Now you also said that Bruce also taps trees for syrup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Our sugar trees
Your sugar
are
trees.
giving us sap
Okay.
as we speak.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. When we first started, he built an evaporator so you have a fire underneath.
Yeah.
And then you have a stainless steel top.
Yeah.
That boils the sap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he built that, and so each spring we make maple syrup.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, as far as when you say you tap the trees, I mean, a lot of the commercial, they have all of the trees are connected via pipes, and rather than having a bucket on a tree, every single tree.
Well, initially we don't have it connected to pipes.
Oh, okay.
We have
Old school.
18. We have 18 taps.
Okay.
We'd like to have more, but we have to keep watching which trees are the sugar maples.
Okay.
To identify them.
Yeah.
And with the climate change, the maple trees are really suffering too.
Yes.
So
yes.
I don't know if people have heard that the maple, it's moving further north to get syrup. Yeah.
Well, you need those cool nights,
right?
And,
right.
But
when the temperature is in the 40s in the daytime and 20s at night, they start giving their sap.
Mm-hmm.
And so initially we had buckets, but the buckets that would go up to the tap, the buckets got really heavy.
Yep.
So now we have bags.
Okay.
So we can also see how full they are, so we
Okay.
can empty them before they get too heavy.
Too heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But he'll probably start boiling tomorrow or the next day.
Okay.
So
there
we'll
you go.
have syrup.
You got a sugar house.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. You can also use for a distillery too.
Well, okay. Now you're talking something different.
Yeah, something different. Okay. Oh, wow. So, so you have the bees, you have the sugar. So I assume you actually sell the maple syrup then?
Yes. If we
okay.
get enough, we sell the maple syrup.
Oh, okay.
If we don't get enough, we keep it.
I've heard that it takes an extraordinary amount of 40 to get a quart or something? Okay, so you need a lot of syrup.
Yeah, you need a lot of sap.
A lot of sap as far as to boil it down.
Yeah.
So, wow. Well, there used to be, now I know, oh God, it was on Rose Hill, but up on the hill there used to be a sugar house up there for years ago. And I know the old farmers that, I don't know if you've heard of the Shabiro brothers, Eddie and Joe Shabiro.
No.
Okay. They are big in the lumber business, and their farm is out on Thompson Hill, and so forth. And Eddie has passed away, but Joe is still with us. But they had a sawmill, and they used to do a lot of land clearing. They had contracts with the state to manage a lot of the state forests and to thin the things. But he used to tell me about the sugar house and all this stuff. But wow, it's quite the thing, as far as that goes. So, so getting back to the organic grower, I mean, you brought a lot of books with you here. So I mean, is this stuff that's out there that people that are interested in organic growing can use?
If you want to learn to grow your own vegetables, I would contact the Connecticut NOFA first. Yeah. Because they have a beginning, if you want to be a farmer, they have beginning farmers. But, people think, oh, farmer, I don't have 5 acres or 10 acres or 20 acres.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing this. I'm growing on 1.5 acre. We have, our property is 2.5 acres. Yeah. So you can do this at small scale.
Yep.
And I started out, I have this book called, I don't know if you can see it, called The Square Foot Gardening.
Yep.
And it's 4 foot by 4 foot.
Okay.
And that's the way I started out back in Ohio.
Okay.
It was 4 foot by 4 foot.
Uh-huh.
And then it became 4 foot by 8 foot.
Okay.
And now my farm is all 4 foot by 50 foot.
Okay. There you go.
So, and he's got soil information and stuff, but he also talks about the each different plant and how when you plant it, when you start it, do you plant it in, is it a winter crop or
Okay.
is it a summer crop?
Okay.
Like the broccoli and spinach and chard all like it cool.
Okay.
Whereas then you get to summer and that's your tomatoes and your eggplant and your
Zucchinis.
Zucchinis, yeah.
Cucumbers.
They want it hot. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And so when we start our CSA, in the spring we're giving out mostly lettuce and greens and peas.
Uh-huh.
And I hope to have some beets and carrots.
Okay.
Because they all grow when it's cool.
Okay.
And then, so you'll be picking that up, and then all of a sudden you're going to start getting cucumbers and some squash
Uh-huh.
and things like that. And then it gets into the eggplant and the peppers and the tomatoes.
Okay.
And so now we're around to August and September, and then you're into potatoes and onions, and it just
Now
keeps going.
do you repurpose, like, say, okay, this patch of ground we start with carrots, and as that season ends, do we replant with something new in that spot?
Yes, it's called crop rotation.
Oh, okay. Aha.
So that helps prevent the disease,
I see.
like squash.
Uh-huh.
There's little squash bugs.
Okay.
They're called stink bugs. You may even see them in your house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the little hard backs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And yes, if you catch one and you squish it, it stinks.
Yes. Yes.
Get rid of it. So they love your squash.
Ah.
And so there's lots of things you have to do to organically. You spray milk on the plants,
Okay.
and that'll also stop the mildew too.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, you want to move your squash because here's your squash.
Yeah.
So now they've lived, and
Yeah.
so now they're going to travel out to the grass
Okay.
on the outside of the garden,
Okay.
and they're going to winter over there,
Okay.
and then they're going to come back. And if you've planted your squash there, same place,
Yeah.
they'll come back and
Eat all your
say,
squash.
"Oh, wow, there's more squash here."
Okay.
So, but if you move the squash over here,
Yeah. Okay.
then they have a harder time to
Hiding
find
the
it.
cheese.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's books out here. There's Facebook. There's even some people say, "I'm not ever going to be on Facebook," but there's a Connecticut Vegetable Growers Facebook page,
Okay.
and I'm on it. There's a lot of people that have experience that are on it, and then there's new people, and they'll say, "This is my first year, and I don't know what to do. My lettuce wilted and died this summer," and so then we say, "Well, you need to grow your lettuce in the spring,
Yeah.
and in the summer you need to grow greens like arugula and mustard greens and tatsoi, which can handle the heat."
Okay.
So you can always go on and ask questions if you're trying to learn.
Okay. Sure.
Then you can go to classes. There's classes at the library. You can join a local garden club.
Yeah.
And we have 2 in Portland.
Yes.
And one
One for flowers and.
and one meets in the daytime and one meets in the evening.
Ah. Okay. Now
or-
you grow most of your plants from seed.
Yes.
Okay. Do you use heart seed from Weathersfield or?
No,
No.
but I use Johnny's. But I have if you go to Johnny's, you have to make sure it's organic.
Okay.
But high mowing seed in New Hampshire is all organic.
Okay.
There's Fedco, which is in Maine,
Uh-huh.
but you have to watch because some of it's organic and some of it isn't.
Okay.
So, but Baker's Creek, is that who you're talking about in Weathersfield?
Yeah, heart seed in Old Weathersfield. That was. They made a lot of seed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You need to learn what you're buying, you know, and that's where you ask questions. And you can get a community garden.
Okay.
Get a plot at a community garden. We have a community garden on Rose Hill.
Okay. Yeah.
And with that, you go, well, yeah, so I get this garden, and then what do I do? Well, you're going to run into people that are
doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing.
Sure.
And then you make a connection. Or you can join a CSA and you make a connection.
Now, when people join a CSA, what's the ballpark price to become a member of a CSA?
My CSA I have a full share,
Yeah.
which is $650.
Okay.
And I have a half share, which is $350.
Okay.
With the full share, you come every week.
Yeah.
And with a half share, you come every other week.
I see.
So you pick up a full share every other week. And people go, oh, well, then it'll rot. Well, no, it's not going to rot because it was picked that day.
Yeah, okay.
We harvest that night and that early morning, and so it's fresh. It hasn't driven on a truck. It hasn't sat in the produce section for who knows how long.
Yeah.
And if you take, and we teach you how to take care of it in your refrigerator.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it won't last that long because you'll eat it.
You eat it usually, yeah, exactly, exactly.
But
now, for people that want to say, start their own community garden, now, do you sell tomato plants that say?
I have a plant sale the third week in May.
Okay. So you can buy tomato plants, you can buy peppers and cucumbers and whatever. Okay. So they're like pre-potted or?
Yeah. Well, I use. I start all my plants in soil blocks.
Okay.
I don't like to use plastic, so I don't use the plastic trays.
Right, right.
And then I up pot into cow pots.
Okay.
Which are like peat pots. However, they're made from cow manure, and they're made in Canaan.
Okay.
It was a dairy. It still is. It's a dairy farm.
Okay.
And they got a grant because they were trying to control the manure and the runoff and the problems with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And they now make cow pots.
Okay.
Which are organic.
Yeah.
And so I use cow pots to up pot my stuff in.
Nice.
And that works too for me because I was up potting into plastic pots.
Yeah.
And if you go to a lot of farm stands, they have them in plastic pots.
Yeah.
And then you go out to plant and you're done and you turn around and here you have
a pile
this
of plastic.
Pile of plastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
now, do the cow pots also have a fertilizer value in them?
Well, it's a good question. However, they grow really well and they dissolve.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, there's got to be some nutrients there. Yeah.
Usually, by the time I'm putting my tomato plants in, I have roots coming out. And you don't take the cow pot off. You plant the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a ball,
right,
and so forth.
Right.
So anyway,
Right. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to show our airline trail footage. And again, if you haven't been on the Portland Airline Trail, it's, in effect, it runs pretty close to Nancy's house.
It runs right behind me.
Right behind you. So anyway, we'll be right back here with Portland on the Move and this Nancy Livensparger from the Fire Ring Farm. Don't go away.
The Airline Trail is a multi-use trail that is here in Connecticut. The trail in Portland is about 2.5 miles long. However, once it's connected to the East Hampton section, it'll be 25 to 50 miles. There is a section east of Willimantic that goes to Putnam, and it's part of the East Coast Greenway, which is a plan to make these trails go from Maine to Florida. The use of our trail here will be a combination of walking, hiking, jogging, bicycling, horseback riding. Most days when you come here in the parking lot of the head of the trail, there are at least 4, 5, 6 cars that are here. A dozen people or so are on the trail walking or hiking or jogging or biking. So the trail has been very well received by residents and people from the surrounding towns. This first started, our Board of Selectmen in town 4.5 years ago formed a committee of members from the town called the Portland Airline Trail Steering Committee. And our vision was to develop a trail from Portland to move eastward. The committee worked very hard in trying to first get permission to use the property. And the property was owned by Eversource, so Eversource gave us a license. And once we received that license, we then filled out an application for a grant with the Department of Environmental Protection. And then the next step was the committee said we need to select a contractor. Once the contractor was selected, we got to work.
Phase 2 will take us from the current ending point at the YMCA border through the Butler property, down Route 66 into the town of Portland. It's a long-term goal. We have a lot of activities we will need to complete to make that happen. We are also looking at the depot at the intersection of Marlborough Street and Chichito Road that will allow us to have an economic development area for the town of Portland in the future.
It's nice that the Board of Selectmen had the foresight 4.5 years ago to choose a group of people to say, listen, we'd like to have this type of trail. What do you think? How can it be done? And go ahead with it. When we see happy people and children biking and hiking and walking, it's very rewarding for us and also rewarding for the town, because this is a part of Portland's health and wellness initiative.
Lastly, if you'd like to join us and volunteer some of your time, we're always looking for new members to the committee. We also are looking for volunteers to help us maintain the trail. Please look at the webpage. It has all your contact information, or on our Facebook page. We really appreciate all the assistance we've had in the past, but we're looking forward to another 25 years, and we need your help.
Hey, and we're right back here at Portland on the Move. Again, Portland on the Move is the show we air the first Tuesday of every month, live here at the Comcast studio at 199 Shunpike, and with the Town Tech Educational Partnership, which is a collaboration between Portland High School and the Portland Town Hall. So again, with us this for our February Lovers Show, we have Miss Nancy Livensparger, who is the owner, along with her husband, of the Fire Ring Farm, which is located out on Middle Haddam Road. So again, Nancy, thanks so much for coming on the show and sharing all of your agricultural expertise, if you would,
Sure.
and so forth. So I know we were talking off camera, about the CSAs and so forth, but just bringing, everything today is kids think, oh, we go to get food at the supermarket. Well, the food at the supermarket comes from a farm. And I think educating our youth of today, I think that's an important component.
Yes.
And I think you'd agree with me there, and so forth. So, but there are programs that can educate youth on that, correct?
Yes, yes. One of them is it's down in New Haven, the Common Ground High School.
Yes, yes.
They have lots of programs. Periodically each month,
Yep.
they have something going on, and they teach classes.
Yep.
And we support the farm, and we've actually taught an herbal class about garlic.
Really? Okay.
At one of their sessions. But our kids just love it.
Yep.
And you can check in. They're on Facebook, and they have all their events.
Yep.
And they'll have a winter walk and a winter a bonfire and
Okay.
all kinds of things that are family oriented. So you can take in. It's on the weekends.
Okay.
And so it's something to do with your kids.
Really?
They also have a summer camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
All summer. So
Okay.
and that I know is a hard thing for a lot of people. They're working.
They're
and
working,
the kids are off for summer.
Yeah, they need
but-
something for the kids to do. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Common Ground is a great place. In fact, I've done some water boot camps down at Common Ground.
Oh, okay.
With and so forth. And we did my Water and People program, and it's my God, they have chickens down there. I also now, I'm doing our Water and People program up at the Bloomfield High School in the Ag Center up there. They raise salmon, they have some great stuff going on up there and so forth, but yeah. So
well, then there's another organization called Everyone Outside.
Oh, okay.
And they work with us on the farm and also with the Middlesex Land Trust. Our land we back into the Middlesex Land Trust because we were all part of that land when the Taylors owned it.
Yep.
And so they have programs for children. They have homeschool on Thursdays. They come to our farm from 10 to 1, and they take the kids out and they do things on the farm and they go hiking. It's really important to have your children be outside.
Yeah.
And learn.
For sure.
Yeah, what's going on outside.
Sure.
They also have family and child activities.
Yep.
You can go to their website and learn about all their stuff they're doing. They're really doing a fabulous job. And it's everyoneoutside.org.
Sure. That's great.
So
yeah. You and I, we're going to have to collaborate. We're going to have to collaborate on some music and farming.
Oh, okay.
I think we can do a program down at our performance center down in Freestone Avenue.
Okay.
And see if we can collaborate and put something together. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. Cool.
That'd be great. So,
yeah.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's Nancy Livensparger from the Fire Ring Farm here in Portland, Connecticut. And again, if you'd like to be to come on our Portland on the Move show, you please contact me. My contact information, I think if we can put it up on the screen, you can contact me at the Portland Town Hall. My email is dkosminski@portlandct.org. And my phone number, I think can we put that graphic up? There we go. Would love to have, we're always looking for some interesting topics such as Nancy provided for us tonight. And again, we're going to be working, I think they're working on a farming bureau in Portland and to actually highlight a lot of the good stuff that you guys do and making.
Well, there's a lot of farms in Portland, and they're trying to put together a commission, and we're all going to work together so that we can help the community know what's available out there.
And it can make us all sustainable.
That's right.
You know,
and healthy.
And healthy too. So anyway, so on behalf of all of us here on Portland on the Move, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Again, we air here live the first Tuesday of every month here at the Comcast studio at 7 o'clock, and we are also streaming live on Facebook on the Comcast Channel 15. So I think you can catch us on there, and our show is going to be airing throughout the month. And we also have our YouTube channel for Portland, which is youtube.com/PortlandCon, CONN. So you can look at all our shows here on our YouTube channel, as well as all of our selectmen's meetings and all of our videos that we produce here at through our Town Tech Educational Partnership. So we'd love to have you to come on and just as Nancy did.
Yeah,
you know,
it was fun.
It was great fun and so forth. So
I have a whole bunch more to tell you.
Well,
so
we're gonna have to come back for a thing, and I think I talked to you off camera. We're gonna have you. I was a member of the Portland Exchange Club, so we're gonna have you come down to talk to our members about farming.
Okay.
And so I think that'd be an awesome thing.
Cool.
So tune in next month live here at Portland on the Move, and have yourself a great February. Valentine's month, and don't forget your favorite Valentine, February 14th. So, thank you so much.
There's a road runs through this town, tells a story. Got me exactly where I'm supposed to be. And if you're thinking of me, well, don't be worried. say, come over, come over, come on over.